Hey, what's up guys? It's the Nightwing Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today talking about Doublelift, and he obviously in this video is going to be opening up why he left Team Liquid, and this is all from his own personal experiences and his perspective, and I want to obviously hear what he has to say, and then obviously I'll give my thoughts and opinions on it as the video is going. So yeah, let's start the video right now.
About pretty much everything that happens, and now this news is live, news is public that I'm being traded to TSM. I just wanted to talk about my perspective of things and trying to be concise. Starting from the very beginning, I'm gonna start at the beginning of this season, the end of last season. We lost at Worlds, we lost out of groups again, XD, big meme. As usual, and as essentially on every single team that I've been on, I told the management and coaches that I want to play with the same roster again because I truly believe that that was a good roster, and if things had gone a little bit differently, we would have made it out of groups, we would have potentially made it further. I felt like it was a good team. Winning LCS is not easy. Sometimes maybe when you suffer from success, you believe that it's too easy, but I was the only one on the entire team that wanted to keep Jake, Xmithy. The reason why is pretty much I think me and Jake had great communication. We narrated the game really well. The team's decisions were a lot smoother and cleaner, and I honestly just worked with him so much. 2.5 years, 5 total splits, won every single split that I played with him. He was my good friend on the team. He was someone I thought was really important to the team. I thought that the idea that our mid jungle was really weak at Worlds was absolutely 100% true. But to pin that all on Jake, or to say that he took he has the lion's share of the blame, is just, to me, it's ridiculous because I think it's a two-way street, right? And I think both Jensen and Jake could have tried harder to work better together, and it wasn't just one person's problem, but everyone wanted to get a new jungler except for me, and I felt like that was unreasonable.
Okay, so let me chime in on this first part. So basically he said he wanted to keep Xmithy after they got knocked out of groups by IG, and obviously because he's won every single split with Xmithy, you would obviously want to keep your friend. Though I have a dual opinion on this. Yes, he is your friend, and yes, he is really good for North American standards. He's obviously the best jungler in North American LCS history after all the success he's had internationally and here. But I think that if you're looking at the org perspective from at least TL, we'll just say TL right now, we're not talking about like CLG. It's just that, you're not going to win Worlds with a player like Xmithy. I mean, it's fundamentally clear it's not going to happen. I mean, he's been in groups quite a number of times, and he obviously has not made it out with Doublelift in most cases, and he didn't even make it out when he was on Immortals back in 2017, when they were in a free-ass group with Fnatic, Gigabyte Marines, and Longshu. Like, Xmithy is not going to be the player that you see in other junglers. That's just my own personal opinion. But you can clearly see if he says that he wants to keep this player on the team because they have really good communication and they're always winning, then that might be a little disrespectful to him personally that they want to obviously replace him. But after Worlds, Steve definitely saw that they obviously needed a mid-jungle synergy, and Xmithy and Jensen were a very weak mid-jungle combo. Like, it literally was not working out, personally, from everything that we've seen in the games, where they literally lost to G2 because of mid-jungle difference.
Even though again, like, I wanna say that like Broxa is not the problem, and Broxa's really great. He's super accomplished. He's honestly a great person. He's a great teammate. He's a great player. Like, it's not his fault. It's honestly even awkward for me to talk about this stuff because it feels like oh man, like I didn't want to play with Broxa. It was just that was my perspective at the end of the season, and I felt like we threw away a good thing by kicking Xmithy. Yeah, that kind of segues into my motivational issues in the beginning of the split, which is a huge meme now. Everyone's like, "Oh man, is Doublelift like, are you motivated, bro?" Hee like, yeah, dude. Like, I was obviously really unmotivated at the very beginning, and I'm gonna take 100% blame for that. That was not fair to my teammates. I've apologized numerous times to my teammates and publicly that I really fucked up, and I wasn't giving it my full attention and focus, and I should have. And if I played with myself, that sounded wrong, but if I played with like a clone of myself who was like that, I would punch him in the face. Like, I think it's totally unacceptable not to be in this highly competitive environment and not be highly competitive with yourself, to not give it your all. and to be holding back, which is not only holding back yourself but holding back your teammates. I think that's completely unacceptable. I'm just trying to give context into why that happened. So I'm not, once again, I'm not trying to justify my behavior, which was totally wrong. I'm trying to give you guys insight into why it happens, right? So first off, I didn't want any roster changes, and that segued into a situation where we weren't going to play. We played with Pobelter jungle, some with Mike Young, and some with Sternfire, and I just felt like we were essentially waiting for these visa issues, which potentially never would have been resolved, but actually did get resolved, luckily, for our real roster to come. And I was just like, well, I didn't even want any of this stuff, any of these problems to be a possibility to begin with. I just wanted to play with the same roster, which I thought was great, and I thought our team was good. We obviously were, because we won LCS 4 times in a row and made it to MSI finals. Now it's in the middle of the split, and I got sick, and then I get benched, and I'm going to explain how I perceived the sequence of events. So,
okay, so in that part, I would say that he thinks that if they had just kept the same roster, they wouldn't have gone through any of these issues from basically the Broxa Visa thing. Because obviously you're not going to have a Broxa Visa issue if you just keep the same roster. But Liquid saw them not winning Worlds or getting out of groups with Xmithy. I mean, it's still very clear he's not really internationally good. You know, I get you want to play with your friend, you were really successful here, but it's not gonna grant the org success. You have to look at it from an org perspective, but that's just me. You have to also see it from his point of view, where obviously he's mentioning if you don't remove Xmithy, you don't have all these problems. But I mean, you could already kind of tell these issues were building up even when they were winning. I mean, if you look at every single thing that we've seen from Liquid over the past few years, we've seen a lot of players come out and say certain things, and he's come out and said certain things, and yeah, let's see what else he has to say.
I had a terrible attitude and I wasn't playing well in the beginning of the split. I get benched. My teammates have feedback, and normally for me, I'm a really direct person. I want people, I'm not going to call anybody out in particular, I want people to be direct with me. I want you to tell me if, hey, like, that was a bad play, you're playing bad, you need to play more solo queue. Whatever the feedback is, I want you to be able to tell me, and I'm going to, you know, ideally and usually I will take your feedback seriously, and like honestly, like I'm not going to think that you're just trying to criticize me for no reason. I want you to be honest with me, and if you have a real problem, I want to hear it from you. And if you feel like it's too awkward as a teammate, you know, then that's okay. The next best thing is to tell the coaches, which is what they did. So negative feedback was given to the coaches about me throughout the split, or even before the split even started, essentially, right? Like, because we had already been practicing for a while, a couple weeks, 3 weeks before the split started, and this negative feedback had been piling up to the coaches. In my opinion, in my world, the coaches would give me that feedback because my teammates gave it to them with the expectation, or maybe even with just like the intention that I would hear it, just maybe anonymously or maybe rephrased in a nicer way or at the right time. I was given pretty much none. I wasn't given the feedback. I'll just tell you this, guys, outright. Like, I was given it after I got benched as justification that I got benched, and I feel like that's pretty messed up because usually you give people, like, I caused a bad situation to happen, but you give people not just a warning, but you give people feedback, criticism, so that they can change their behavior, but you don't bench them to change their behavior, you know what I mean? So, I mean, in my world, there's like two versions of this, where like one is they just kind of used it as an excuse to bench me, which is possible. And the other one, like, they just didn't feel like it was super important. Like, they had like faith that I was going to switch around by myself without it. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but I thought that was really strange, that I felt a bit blindsided, honestly, by the whole situation. And, you know, as I worked my way back into the team, the only people who were really supportive of me were Steve and Broxa. So Steve was the only one who was like perfectly honest with me and telling me these things, like, hey, your teammates had feedback for you, they didn't tell you, they told the coaches didn't tell you, that was bad. And so Steve was completely transparent with me on the whole process. He was actually like trying to figure out what happened, right? And so, you know, he was uncovering like details of the situation that I didn't know, he didn't know. So Steve was really supportive, and Broxa was really supportive, and like he was a teammate that like I could lean on, and I felt like he was my friend from inside the team who...
Oh, good guy Broxa. That's a good guy Broxa that we all know and love. But yeah, so basically him not caring about the spring split, even before that, his teammates caught wind of that. Then during the split, where we obviously saw those issues with him basically saying he didn't care about the summer split, where it doesn't matter. Then the players, obviously, who lost with him, his teammates, obviously, told the coaches about the situation, but they never told him directly. and then the coaches didn't tell him, or the coaching staff didn't tell him until he was benched, and then they told him. He thinks that they should have just told him then and there, then he could fix it. Why let all of your problems build up and then tell him? But to be fair, if you look at it from their perspective, I mean, you got a guy who's not caring and not trying. And I know people say spring split doesn't matter, XD, KEGW, LOL. Like, it matters to them. Whether you choose to, go with your own personal opinion about whether or not spring split matters at all, it matters to them. It definitely matters to Liquid because they chose to obviously bench him and then put his contract up for trade. So if spring split doesn't matter, they would have kept Doublelift.
Was always like asking me how I was doing and trying to sympathize with me and stuff like that. And so like those two people are like essentially the superstars to me in the whole situation. So eventually, I do get my spot back. It's because we lost to CLG and they were the 10th place team, and the coaches were really upset about that, so they subbed me back in. And I think at that point, like, I realized my relationship with my teammates is pretty messed up right now. I'm being told tons of stuff like, don't make too many calls, it's really confusing. Just feed information. It makes the team play better if you just do that. So I'm trying to do that. I'm not argumentative, by the way. I'm actually just doing my absolute best to be on my best behavior because I don't want to get benched again. So again, I think, like, first off, I'm holding back a lot of my opinions because I'm afraid for my job, honestly. I'm afraid to lose my job again. I'm afraid of, like, the backlash of getting benched again. Secondly, I want my teammates to feel like I am being cooperative, which I think is actually important. You should be able to pick your battles and be cooperative most of the time, and sometimes, like, stand your ground. That's my thought on it. But I am holding back, like, way more than usual. And occasionally, like, I will get into what in my opinion is a normal argument with a teammate, where maybe to other people it sounds heated, but really you're just trying to figure out the right thing, and there's no hard feelings. At the end of the day, you're still teammates and friends. But I get into arguments with my teammates during scrims, and I'm getting subbed out randomly during scrims, which makes me even more frustrated and just confused about what I should be doing. The team isn't finding success. I feel like I'm doing what the coaches wanted me to do the entire time. It's just a mess. It's just an absolute mess. The rest of the split, as you guys know.
Basically, what he's saying is that after he kind of had this revelation moment where spring split matters to him being in this predicament matters to him, in that moment, his teammates obviously, from what I can gather, just didn't forgive him. You know how you have those arguments with your friends where, like, nothing's really resolved, but you kind of just don't talk about it because you don't want to really confront that situation? I personally think that you have to look at it in a specific way, that you have to see it from both perspectives. But if he's having arguments with someone on how to play better, and they're obviously giving feedback to him, and they're having a heated discussion, just let it happen. You know what I mean? Why would they sub him out if they're just having a discussion? That's going to make you better if you're going to find some common ground. So that's obviously, at the end of the day, for this part specifically, I agree with him. I think that if you're on your best behavior and you said you're sorry, you got to move on. You have to move on. Like, dwelling in this past is not going to do anything for them at that current moment in time. You know what I'm saying? Like, dwelling in that past moment did not help them. They were all mad at him, personally, except for Broxa, because of how he talked about Broxa. He said Broxa was super, super nice to him and everything like that in that situation. But I personally think that you have to look at it in a way that you see it from how a person wants to be forgiven. Just like, this is not the situation that I bring up, but it'll kind of correlate to this. It's like, let's say if your girlfriend or boyfriend cheats on you and they really, really are sorry, and they are putting in the work to show you they're sorry every single day. You get access to their phones. You get to access to their social medias. They come home straight from work. They do whatever after that. Their hobbies still, but they're coming home straight from work. They're communicating with you. If they're truly and honestly sorry, and they're working and showing you through his actions or her actions that they really are sorry, it's genuine. Like, some people, when they do shit bad to you, they don't feel sorry about it. But at least in his case, for his teammates, he was willing to do that personally. All from his perspective.
Team Liquid, we did not do well. We did not look good. Yeah, we were nowhere close to looking like a top team, except for the very last match against Cloud9, where I think we were just, like, all our inhibitions were, like, taken off because it was the last match. Here's where I talk about probably what everyone wants to know. At the end of the split, I talked to Steve. He's been, like, the person that I talked to the most through the whole situation. He says like conducting a process, figure out like what we're gonna do next split. I say, okay, great. My number one priority is to stay on Team Liquid. I want to finish out the split. I want to finish out the season strong with you guys. This is my team that I've been on, and I want to make it work. And Steve says, yeah, that's like his number one priority as well. We're talking about like through multiple talks, days and days after the split ends, and he told me like, there's a possibility that you might get traded. It's just a possibility. Don't take offense to this, but if you were to be traded, what teams would you go to? I gave him a list, obviously a really short list, because I don't want to go any shitter teams. I'd rather retire. And TSM was on the list. That's how I ended up in the process of being traded to Team Liquid. Wow, that was a loud Windows update. So, yeah, Steve was honestly pretty cooperative through the whole thing. He has full rights to literally send me to any team that he wants. He could have sent me to like random region of the world. He could have sent me to a absolute like bottom org, but I really appreciate that he didn't. He was cooperative, and actually, let me talk more about the decision itself. I wanted to make things work with Team Liquid. I made that clear since the very beginning. But I felt like there was no reciprocation, right? I never felt like I had really too much support from inside the team. I never felt like I had like that feeling of like, oh, it's okay, you messed up, but like you're forgiven. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Because every roster that I've ever been on, people have really massively fucked up and went through humongous slumps. Actually, I've hard carried people through slumps. Let's be honest here. Like everyone watches my games for the last like 6 years, right? There have been many times when my teammates are not trying their best. I'm not going to name names or name times, but that is just a fact of competitive League of Legends. You're not going to have all the time during regular season everyone being on their best behavior and playing their best. Now, I went through a slump at the beginning of Spring Split this season, and it was really bad, and my behavior was really bad. I'm gonna completely own up to that. But I felt like there should be a level of forgiveness where they're willing to move on from that and accept, as long as I'm trying my best to change it around, they should accept that, that's in the past and I'm willing to give them a new shot, like a new chance. When I'm going to tell you guys honestly, in Season 8, we lost at Worlds with Pobelter and Ole. That was that iteration of Team Liquid. I did not tell the coaching staff to change the roster at all. At all. I wanted to make it work. Ole literally rage quit MSI, or like he tilt quit MSI because he mental boomed, and I wanted to play with him because I believe that he could change it around. Like, I never give up on my teammates. I almost never. Okay, like there's times like early on in CLG where I'm just like, we should probably get a new player here. For the last like
Link, if you guys have been around for that long, but that I can somewhat agree with. People were definitely mad at Ole. Like, people were definitely mad at Ole. I remember 100%, guys, I've been watching League for a very, very long time, probably more than most of you guys watching. When Ole did his rage quit, mental boom, depression phase, randomly he got a depression phase during fucking MSI of all places, right? Maybe he was already going through something personally, and maybe at that point it came out, like, Camel broke the straw's back, maybe they lost a scrim to, like, Kingzone or RNG, and it was like, alright, fuck this shit, I'm done with life, and he did carry Ole through that, that's just what it was. He played really well in that tournament. I mean, he played really well. It was just one game, they lost to Fnatic, and then obviously, they didn't make it out of groups, but, if he wasn't the strong player that he was in that moment, they wouldn't have made it out. And I don't think people really remember Ole tilting off the face of the earth, because, to be fair, Ole had, like, his 5 minutes of fame on Immortals when he was considered an MVP. But after that, when he went to Team Liquid, it was very shown that it was just a one meta thing. Like, Ole wasn't really that good. Like, even on Golden Guardians, he really... Not Golden Guardians, what was it? Like, that team he went to, no, yeah, it was Golden Guardians at one point Ole was on. Like, it just wasn't that good. It just was not that good, personally. I actually think that when you look at how other people have had slumps in their careers and they don't get as overblown as his does, it's not because you're popular, but I will disagree with that. They were 100% mad at Ole. I mean, it was there. I don't know why he would choose to keep playing with Pobelter and Ole. Pobelter I can agree with, but Pobelter, like Smithy, not gonna be internationally a star, from what we all know.
3 or 4 years, I did not give up on my teammates. I always believed in them, as long as they were working hard at it, that, and they were reasonable about it, that they could change and that they could improve. I felt like it was really unfair for my teammates not even just my teammates, just like the whole situation just felt a little unfair to me, and it made me feel like I was gonna force myself back into the team into a team that didn't actually want to play with me. Nobody was like saying like, oh no, like for sure I want to play with Peter again. Like that's just not how it felt to me. Maybe they were, but it didn't feel that way, I guess. So you know how awkward that is. Like, am I? Do I want to spend the rest of the year feeling like my job's always on the line and I'm constantly being like haunted by my mistake? Like, no, that's not how I want it to feel. After I threw in season 6 against Crown's Victory and got one shot and lost the game, like literally, like the most depressing probably moment of my whole entire life was losing us out of group stage in season 6, like getting one, just so bad, right? But I never felt like my teammates held that moment against me. When I rejoined TSM in season 7, I never felt like my teammates were like, dude, you suck, you choked, you were like so bad in that one moment, you like cost us everything, you cost us a whole year of work. So you know, I did kind of feel like that on Team Liquid, where it wasn't direct like that, but I felt like I just didn't get the feeling that, you know, everyone had moved on from it. And so, you know, out of respect for myself and also for my teammates, I decided I'm gonna join TSM. So now I'm gonna talk a little bit about TSM because this vlog's been going on for a while.
Oh my god.
When fighting
no one cares your stupid fucking ad. I don't give a fuck about your stupid fucking ad. I don't care about Wix.
Really fucking excited to be on TSM. I loved playing on the team in the past. Like, I really want to play with Soren and Vincent, who have been my really good friends for the last, like, 4 years. Vincent's, you know, literally support that I scouted, and I feel like has tons of potential as long as he gives it his full effort and stuff. Soren, obviously, Bjergsen, literally, like, the face of LCS, this guy, he is incredible. Like, I'm just so excited to play on TSM. I think if I rejoin TSM and we don't win, or at least we don't make Worlds, that's just going to be an awful look. So I know that this is like a do or die situation on TSM, and I'm going to give it my 110%. Like, I'm going to try so hard to earn the fans' trust, earn my teammates' trust, to regain a lot of the things that I lost in the last split. You know, I think being a fan of me in the last like 3 months has been really tough. I said a lot of dumb shit. I played really bad. I really apologize for the performance that my team had in spring. From going from 1st to 9th is obviously like unacceptable. So I want to have a redemption story here on TSM. I think it's possible. I think it'll be an awesome redemption story. Me and Bjergsen are some, you know, we're like super popular, but we're also super good, and I think we play well together. And I just think it could be like some miracle magic sauce, you know. Like, I don't want to get you guys too hyped, but this is potentially like some pretty crazy. This is a potentially pretty crazy team that could do some pretty crazy things. So,
yeah, I mean, I personally agree with him on that. I think this is going to be Cloud9's rival moving into next split. I mean, you have an insanely high potential ceiling team with Dardoch, Broken Blade, Doublelift, and Bjergsen and Biofrost. I mean, to be fair, if he gets motivated and starts playing well again, this is Sven's rival. I mean, I have to be honest here. As a Cloud9 fan, TSM is our rival, and this is our biggest competition. Whether you choose to agree with it or not, that is just the fact of the matter, is that if you shouldn't be sleeping on TSM moving forward. Now, I'll speak about the Kabe situation at the end of the video, but I'm going to let this play out for the rest of it.
So, see, I'm really excited about this team. I'm so excited. So, lastly, like, I think what's permeating Reddit and Twitter and stuff is like, oh, this is so inappropriate. He has a relationship with Lena. Like, there was poaching. Oh my god. Like, there's a conspiracy. He literally tanked his split and his. Okay, let me just address all this really fast. Yeah, me and Lena are in a relationship.
Yeah, they're in a relationship. For anybody who lives under a rock, because, you know, credit to him and credit to me too. We choose to get girlfriends because we don't want to live in our hole playing video games, beating off, and drinking Mountain Dew and Doritos. Just saying.
No, she didn't poach me. No,
I truly, honestly believe she didn't poach him. I've actually met him IRL. He didn't give off that feeling to me. Like, he would do that. You know? People just wanted to say a bunch of conspiracy theories because you just don't like him. Like, just be honest. Like, just be honest with yourself. You're saying these things because you don't like him. There is no evidence of it even happening. Imagine if there was like screenshots or some shit someone found. Like, no, there's nothing. We literally have nothing but our minds to think of. And what roster is he gonna go to? Like, let's be honest here. No one's going to Counter Logic shit. No one's going to 100 L's. No one's going to what's the other team? Golden Garbage. No one's going to Dignitrash. Like, no one's going to shit orgs with shit perspectives who give Hooney $2 million. No one's doing that. So, just saying, the top 3 teams in North America are TSM, TL, and Cloud9. Well, he just played for TL. He's not playing on Cloud9 probably ever in his career. If he plays on Cloud9, holy crap, that'd be insane. After, Sen leaves eventually. But, like, there's only, the other org is TSM. Or unless you go for a fourth best org, which is FlyQuest, but FlyQuest aren't getting rid of Turtle. That it is what it is.
I didn't intentionally ruin my reputation. I didn't intentionally sabotage my team and my own performance, and literally not even make playoffs because I wanted out of the team. No, that didn't happen. Everyone who knows.
If you personally think that you need to just take your goddamn phone, chuck it outside, break this shit because you are a retard. Why would someone intentionally try to ruin their career by sabotaging their org they're on and themselves? What is there to gain from that? People are going to say, oh, well, he gets to gain TSM. No, guys, oh my god, listen to what I'm saying. What is there to gain from that? All he's gaining is joining TSM. People hate him now. Rah, yeah, whatever.
Me at all knows that I'm extremely competitive and I have a ton of pride, and I felt awful about my performances. Just think that theory is absolutely ridiculous. If Lena was on Dignitas, no, I would not join Dignitas. Like, no. If Lena was on CLG, no, I would not join CLG. Like, if Lena was not on TSM, would I join TSM? Absolutely yes, right? Like, that has nothing to do with it. Like, I joined because I think the roster is really good, because the org is super hyped, and the team is, and just my past relationships with Bjergsen and Bio. No, I did not only join. Like, I think if you remove it from the equation, my decision making would be the exact same. Yeah, hopefully that can just make you guys a little more at ease about it, because I understand from an outside it can look like super sketch, but to me, like, the whole idea of it is there's just nothing there, guys. There's nothing there. It is really awesome that I can work on the same org. That's not a conflict of interest. That's an alignment of interest. It's really awesome that I can be in a relationship with someone who directly benefits from a good performance by me. Okay, so last thing is I want to thank all the fans who supported me throughout my entire career, who switched with me to Team Liquid, and who are now switching with me back to TSM, and even the fans who stay on those teams when I went from CLG to TSM to Team Liquid. There are fans that stay with those teams, and I'm happy I brought you to a place where you can be happy to cheer for something, a team, an organization. I didn't make this to bash anybody. I just wanted to tell you guys what I thought about the situation, while trying to be respectful. Hopefully I did that. Yeah, I want to thank Steve for being an amazing owner. Andy has big shoes to fill. Steve was really an amazing owner, honestly, the whole time. I really want to make you guys look back on this decision and this sort of time in TSM's history. I want you to think wow, that was a good time. That was a great choice, because I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. I want TSM to be a top team again. We haven't made Worlds in 2 years. This is the year, right? This is going to be the year. TSM hasn't won in 5 splits. This is going to be the split. Thanks for watching the vlog, and see you guys.
Alright, because his intro is going to give me a copyright thing, and I do not want to have to deal with that later on YouTube. Holy crap. But, the only thing that really sucks about this situation is the whole Kabe thing. Kabe uprooted his whole life to come over here, and TSM kick him for having an underwhelming split, which wasn't really that bad. Personally, for me, this is the reason why I don't root for these guys, and I'll never root for these guys. It's just that, how do you do that? People are gonna say I'm a dick, but that's, look at this logically. He comes over, uproots his whole life, doesn't even play that bad. It can be improved on. If you say he can't improve, you're bronze trash. I don't want to hear your opinion. He gets kicked for 1 split. He doesn't even get the option of making it better. You see my point? He doesn't even get the option of making it better. He can't improve on what they probably want. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can't root for people like this, man. You're kicking someone off 1 bad split. What the hell? At least in Cloud9's case, it kept sneaky all those years, even though he kind of had, random int splits. But you see my point there? At least they gave him the option of fixing it until they eventually finally did kick him. And other players too in Cloud9. But you see my point there? At least other orgs are willing to try out players for at least the 2 splits. Why would anybody from EU ever sign with TSM ever again? What is the reason to? If you have 1 bad split, they're going to kick you. That literally was proven this split. And remember, spring doesn't matter, right? The fuck out of here. Because they definitely think it does, because that's why they're doing this. But I do feel bad for Kabe. He got It wasn't even a bad split, though. It really wasn't a bad split. He was arguably top 4 in his role. Because you had Sven, who was undoubtedly the best. There was Bang. Then you had Johnson. That's pretty much it, right? I mean, yeah, Bang, Johnson, Sven. Kabe was at least the 4th or 5th best ADC. Yeah. You guys understand what I'm saying. He was literally the 4th or 5th best ADC. I just don't understand why doesn't he get the idea to be presented with a option to improve on a split? You know? I just don't get why that can't happen. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I can't root for people like this. Throwing in Spica, fucking hell, man. Like, I cannot root for this. I'll never do that. That is just unethical to me, and I don't like that. I don't care if you get mad at me, whatever, it's my opinion. I can have whatever I want. Maybe if you don't like my opinion, go make your own YouTube channel and say how much you fucking hate me. I don't really fucking care. But I don't like that. Nobody should like that. He was literally probably top 4 in his role. Let's say top 5 to be for the sake of argument, and gets kicked. You can't improve on shit. Imagine being at a job and they just fire you without any context or nothing. You can't improve on shit. You can't say why you would get better and prove it to them you can't get better. Fuck you, you're getting fired. Why would any other import join this team ever again? Like, that is not going to be good on them. He is going to go tell people. He will tell people in EU, and they are screwed getting imports from EU ever again. I personally think so. That's me personally. So see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing in Way of Life Esports. It's signing in.
Hi guys, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.